So the big question is this: how do young men like us, who didn't listen to society, who are on our own, how do we grow and improve ourselves so that we can live a better tomorrow? That is the question, and this show will give you the answers. My name is James Radzinski, and welcome to the Ascend Momentum Show. Welcome back, everyone. Let's get things off started. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm going to Hawaii to surf. Let me explain. A couple weeks ago, in one of my earlier episodes, I talked about how I'm going to Hawaii. And that's my goal, to move to Hawaii and surf. Like, just become a surfer. And currently, for context, I'm a 17-year-old high school senior and still living at my parents' house, and my income is zero. That's the context. But over the past couple weeks, I've been studying reality transurfing, a book by Vadim Zeland. It's basically how to win life, essentially. And now I've stumbled across a website which has a reading list with the ultimate reading list for human beings. And on that website, I saw that he actually wrote a book. The guy who put together that reading list wrote a book. He's an author. And so I bought his book as well as the first book on the reading list. And I read the intro to his book and I loved it. He put a declassified CIA document in the intro of the book. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then I read the document and it was cool. I think it was about Focus 15, and that's basically like time travel into the past. Like, he put a document, declassified CIA document about time travel in the intro of his book. And then I read on, and I skipped to this chapter that he wrote, and it's called Transurfing, reality transurfing. And so he said that's basically how you win life. So that's awesome. And I'm in the middle of reading reality transurfing for the second time through right now, and I'm halfway done. All right, so that's all context. So let's go back to that declassified document. I actually looked up that declassified document. I searched up reality transurfing CIA document, and it was like the first link, and it was literally a PDF on the CIA website. It was like CIA.gov or something. So an official PDF, and the document was official, declassified. It was written in like 1985, and then it was declassified in like 2009. So it was classified for like 24 years. A quarter of a century that document was classified for. And essentially that document is a letter to like the commander of the US military. I don't know, I don't think it was the president, but it was like the commander of the US military. So it was like the guy who wrote the letter was tasked at figuring out his task was to look into this gateway program. So it was this program that Monroe Institute, I think it's called, did, and it's called the Gateway Program or something like that. And his task, the author of the letter, his task was to like look into that Gateway Program and write back to the commander of the military write back about its like practicality and like how well it works. And so he essentially wrote an in-depth like 30 to 40 page letter to the commander. And in that letter, he was basically describing all of the different things, all the different main aspects to the program. And this was the government, by the way, the government of the United States of America, like the CIA and the military. Like, this is legit. This is real stuff. And so I didn't read it all the way through because I had it on the PDF on the document. I was just reading it in class with my friend Franklin. And I mean, like, the stuff I read in there was like all transurfing stuff. Like, not all of it was transurfing, but there was a lot of transurfing principles that were essentially proven to be true. And so I believed in transurfing for the past couple months. Like, I was slowly but surely starting to believe in it and actually realize, oh, this stuff is true. And like a couple weeks ago, I created the goal to move to Hawaii and be a surfer. And it wasn't until today where up until today, I was always like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. But it was all just me saying it. I never really actually believed it. I was working towards it, but I didn't really see it. I didn't see I didn't know for sure if it was possible. But after today and looking at the CIA, the United States of America, the government, literally used this stuff, and this they literally proved that this stuff is real. And it gave my mind it gave my mind proof of how this actually is real. Like, transurfing is actually real. And so I still don't, it's like slowly but surely integrating into my worldview, but today was a big jump. It's not 100% in my worldview yet, but today was a jump. Once I saw that the United States of America, a declassified document from the CIA, was talking about transurfing, and there was some very interesting stuff. And it wasn't just transurfing either. It was like time travel. It was deep meditation. What else was there? Like healing. So let's say you broke your leg and you can literally heal it with your mind. So lots of stuff. So I actually was at school when I did this, and my school has printers that the students can use. So I actually just printed that declassified CIA document on my school printer, on my school, one of my school's printers, or one of the printers at my school. So I printed it out and then walked over to it and grabbed it. It was like 40 pages of paper, and then I brought it home, and then I tried to staple it together, but my stapler that I have at my home doesn't even go all the way that deep, because there was 40 pieces of paper. So I had to just use a binder clip and clip it together. But I'm definitely going to be reading all about that. I'm going to read the whole thing. Basically gives a summary of the Gateway program. And that reading list, let's go back to the reading list. The reading list that I've been talking about for the past couple days, ever since I discovered it like a week ago. He actually put down, my friend knows a lot about psychedelics, And so he was looking into that reading list as well. And he saw there was a good amount of books on psychedelics in that reading list. And when we go back to the CIA document, that CIA document is a letter to the Army, like commander of the Army, about that letter is talking about the gateway process. And the gateway process is like a experiment or a research. I don't even know what it is. I just discovered this today, so I'm giving you guys whatever I know. That gateway process is basically what they're doing at Monroe Institute. I think it's called Monroe. I know it's Monroe, but I don't know if it's like Institute. I don't know. But they're basically researching that. And Monroe, I don't know his first name, but Mr. Monroe is actually the person who made out-of-body experience, that term, out-of-body experience. He was the person that made that popular. He popularized that. My friend told me that. And then my friend also said that he wrote the book, Mr. Monroe wrote the book, one of the books on psychedelics that's on the ultimate reading list for human beings. So I, like, a week ago when I first discovered this reading list, I was like, oh wow, I'm like, this is the next step. This is, I'm starting to discover things. But now I'm thinking like, this is it. This is how this reading list has the truth. Like, this reading list is going to tell me like exactly what I'm meant for on earth, and exactly like it's going to tell me the truth about the world. It talks about the school, like there's books on the school system and how it's fraud, like how it's bad, how it's flawed, and how it's like a system to suck out all of your creativity. And then it also talks about, like, I don't even know. Like, I'm just learning this, and I'm so excited to learn about all of this stuff in the future. Me and my friend were just sitting in the back of the classroom together because we're in a group of 2, and we had our own table. And so we were sitting in the back of the classroom, literally reading this declassified CIA document, and we were just thinking to ourselves, we were saying it to each other, wow, we just stumbled upon the truth. Like, this is like gonna tell us the truth, and we're gonna slowly but surely learn the truth. I don't know what the truth is, but I know it's like, I know there's a lot more to life than what we've been led to believe. And so we were just saying, like, we were just looking around, and we were just seeing that no one else knew what we knew in our class. No one else knew. Everyone else was just part of the system, and so were we, but we're starting to break free. And so we just looked at each other, and then I was like, wow, I'm so grateful that we know what we know. I'm so grateful we're going to break free from the system. Like, we are starting to break free. I don't know what we're breaking free from, but I know that with knowledge, we'll know exactly what we're breaking free from and what we're going towards. But for now, I just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other and just keep pushing forward and keep learning more, keep reading. But that's basically why in the beginning I said I'm going to Hawaii, because now I know anything is possible. Now I know that literally you can do whatever you want, and the only thing holding you back is your mind. Like, you are literally capable of anything possible, and the only thing that's preventing you from doing it is your own mind. And I was aware of that for the past couple months, but I didn't actually know for sure till like today. Today was when I'm thinking, like, wow, the CIA wrote a document on time travel. That is like insane. And the fact that no one, like, my friend he like knows all about the news. Like I'm pretty sure he used to watch the news, or at least he like hears about the news a lot. And he was just saying like, this is not on the news. No one knows about this. I've never heard of this before. Because he is really, like, he researches a lot about this stuff. And then, a matter of that, we literally just discovered it from one Google search, and it was the first hit on the link. It was, like, literally the first thing, the first search result on Google. So, I don't know, but I know I'm in for a big ride coming up into the future. And by the time this episode is gonna post in 7 days. So I'll have recorded episode 50. I'll probably, because I'm going on vacation, or not vacation. I'm going out of town in 2 days, so I won't record 2 episodes. So by the time this episode posts, I'll have already recorded episode 50 in real time. And so literally that's in like 7 days. By the time this episode posts in 7 days, I'll have learned so much more. And then by the time that episode posts in 7 days, like in 14 days, I'll learn even more. So I'm actually every single day I'm learning so much more. And this is like today was definitely a change, another turning point. I've had a lot of those lately, but today was especially another turning point. Learning that the CIA, there is so much more. The author of the book, Dancing After the Music Stops, that author, in the introduction of that book, he was like, the way he was talking just spoke to me. The way he was talking about how there's more. I'm looking so forward into the future. I know that life is just going to continue to get great. Like right now I love life, but it's going to get so much better. I'm still living in Oak Park, and literally it's just getting better every single day. The more information I learn, the more knowledge I gain, and the more my brain is shaping, the closer I'm getting to my goals. Things are getting great. Things are getting great. But that is pretty much, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Let me get some water. All right, so let's talk about the next thing. And then I'm going to connect it back to the CIA document. So this morning in my studies on reality transurfing, I finished the chapter on goals and doors. And I started the next chapter, which is energy. And now I think I'm officially halfway through the book. So I'm actually halfway through now. And I've probably been reading for like 2 months or 1 month. I don't know. Doesn't even matter. I'm halfway through, but I'm on the energy chapter. And on that energy chapter, for some context, it's all about increasing your energy levels, and it's all about understanding how energy works in the body. So there are 2 types of energy sources in the human body. Physiological energy, which physiological energy comes from like the metabolism. It's basically like the food you eat. It's like normal physical energy that you get from metabolism. And then the second type is cosmic energy. Now, this cosmic energy is infinite, and we are basically surrounded by cosmic energy. And we are, like, depending on how much free energy is what it's called. Depending on how much free energy someone has, depends on how wide their meridians are. So meridians, there are two main meridians. One goes upwards, which is about 2 inches away from the spine. 2 inches like away from the spine on men and 1 inch on women. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me how. I have no idea. I'm just reiterating what I just learned this morning on Vadim Zeland. And then that is basically like a tube going upwards. And then there's another meridian, a second main meridian, that is basically like close to the spine and is going downwards. So basically, there are two tubes like very close to each other that are going up and down on your spine. And basically, depending on how wide your meridians are, is how much energy you can let in. And cosmic energy is infinite, but you can only let in so much at a time depending on how wide your meridians are. So I remember explaining this stuff to my friend, like when we were first getting into transurfing. I'm not even sure if, I think he's like starting transurfing. And I remember explaining it to him literally like 4 months ago, maybe. And I was explaining it to him like literally exactly what I'm telling you right now about energy. And I didn't even believe it. I was just reiterating what I was reading. And I don't think he believed it either. He was like, dude, what are you talking about? But over 5 months of changing our worldview and researching and studying a lot more, I actually know that this stuff is real, and my friend does too. So we've come a long way, and if you don't believe this stuff fully, don't even worry, because you will if you study it. Just give it a chance. So back to the meridians. You basically like let the energy in. Since there's infinite amounts of energy around us, you just let the energy in through your meridians, and then that's how you get your energy for the free energy, the cosmic energy. And so bringing it back to the CIA document, there was one aspect in that document where he was talking about there was this, I forgot what it's called. It was some meditation. It was like deep. I forgot what it was called, but my friend said it was like a mainstream thing. And it's like a meditation type where you're like really deep and you're just focusing on your energy. And you're focusing on like your lines of energy up and down your spine. That's what it said. It said meditation when you're focusing, when you're spending a lot of focus on the energy flowing up and down your spine. And so having learned about meridians and energy from transurfing, I instantly recognized that as your meridian tubes. And so that meditation type, you play like 5 to 7 hertz. I think it's like 4 to 7 hertz. I don't remember the exact noise frequency, but imagine like pink and white noise, that frequency. You play that while you're meditating, and then you meditate and just focus all of your attention on the energy moving up and down your spine. So basically what the meridian tubes I explained. And that meditation allows you to do many different things. I don't even remember what it was. But I'm going to look back on I don't know if I'm going to do it today or tomorrow. Eventually, I'm going to read through that entire CIA document, because I know that it's got some golden nuggets in there for me to pick up on. And that's essentially that meditation practice. All right, so I want to talk to you about how after I learned about that CIA stuff, So for context, I've been taking off my shirt and riding around town shirtless on my bike. And like in the beginning, I was uncomfortable doing that because it's like not normal. Like people don't just ride around shirtless. But after like a couple weeks, or maybe even 1 week or two, I don't even remember how long it's been, but after like 1 or 2 weeks of doing it, I'm becoming to get more comfortable. And for context, I'm a part-time student in high school. And so I leave, like my last period of the day is fifth period. And so I leave during fifth period because fifth period is my lunch. And I go to the front of the school, and that's where my bike is locked. And usually, if there's no people around, I just take off my shirt and then ride home shirtless. But if there were people around, then I wouldn't take off my shirt, and I'd just ride home with my shirt on. But today, there was people around, like even a girl my age, and I still took off my shirt, and I was like, man, I don't even know why I wouldn't have taken off my shirt if that's what I wanted to do. That like there's no reason why I don't even know. I can't put into words why I wouldn't. Because I wouldn't be embarrassed. There's just some energy force or some like force telling me not to. But screw that. Like I can do whatever I want, you know? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to break the law, but like that is legal. I'm allowed to do that. And there was like some mental block preventing me from doing it. But today I was like, no, I'm moving to Hawaii in the future. Like I don't care. I'm taking off my shirt. And so I took off my shirt and I looked at the girl and she was just staring at me, and then I left on my bike. And so that was cool. I know that my comfort zone is getting a lot bigger, and I'm also like realizing a lot more that a lot of these things don't matter. Like that was just like a social block. Like the social, like the society has like imbued this belief into my mind that I shouldn't take off my shirt for some reason. And so I just like, no, my mind is the only thing that's preventing me from doing anything. Like my mind is the only thing preventing me from being able to achieve my goals. So if you just begin to be conscious of your mind and all of your limiting beliefs, like I still to this day have limiting beliefs where I'm just like, oh no, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. And then I'm like conscious of it and I'm like, well, why not? Like why, like genuinely, why can't I do that? And then I simply can't conjure up a reason. And even if I do, it's stupid. It's just my mind trying to use its reasonable arguments, its logic, but it's just holding me back. And my mind isn't even mine. It's been crafted and molded and sculpted exactly how society wants it to be, to benefit society and not me. Like it's just trying to, the forces are just trying to use me for all of my like energy and steal all my energy and hold me down so I don't get my own individuality. So that's just a quick rant. Everyone can do anything they want. It's simply just their mind. If you can conquer the mind, you can do whatever you want. I'm not sure if that was the right quote, but like don't try and convince your mind of anything. It's not going to work. But if you show your mind proof, like I've been doing over the past couple months, show my mind proof every single day that the Transurfing principles are real. Now that I've seen the CIA document, that is a crazy amount of real proof. So you just got to show your mind proof over and over. And over time, once you get enough proof, your mind will actually begin to accept that, and it will be incorporated into its worldview. Like your mind is not going to agree on anything with the heart that's not in its worldview. So then all you have to do is just expand your worldview and make your worldview exactly how it needs to be to achieve your goals. And then boom, your mind will be able to agree with your heart, and then you'll be able to achieve whatever you want. Like if you can get your mind and your heart to agree, like there's nothing stopping you from achieving that thing. Like if I can get my mind and my heart to agree that I'm gonna move to Florida, or not Florida, Hawaii, and become a surfer, well, there's nothing stopping me except for my mind. If I start to create importance on that, then that will stop. Like that will start to prevent me. But like there's nothing stopping me if you can just get the mind to behave and do like help yourself out and get your mind to actually get on board with things. So I was like, I'm just at a loss for words right now because I'm just so excited for the future. And honestly, I'm just trying to think of another thing to talk about because I don't want to be in silence, but I also want to know another thing to talk about. So I'm kind of just talking randomly until something comes up. But that said, once I'm done with Transurfing, I'm going to try and read enough so I'm done before Funnel Hacking Live, but if not, whatever, I'll finish it after. And once I'm done with that, I'm buying the first 7 books on that reading list. Probably not the first 7, probably like the first 4 or 5. And then I'm going to buy some other books that I want to read next as well. And I'm going to use that reading method that he talks about on that reading list, where it allows you to read a book a day. And he actually talked about it as well on his book, Dancing After the Music Stops. He talked about it in the beginning. He said, learn a lot, read a book a day for years. And the context was just be a winner of life, like live life how you want. And so I definitely am starting to believe that it's possible. And he did it, and he's definitely educated. So my fear was that I wasn't going to like retain any of the information. But I feel like it would be worth it because I'm reading a book a day. If I could get like decent, like if it barely drops down from my normal amount that I retain, it's definitely gonna be worth it. So the reading method is you basically get 7 books, put them all in front of you, pick up the first one, read until you lose focus, which is when you have to reread a sentence you just read. So he said it's usually around 1 or 2 pages, after 1 or 2 pages, and then put that book down, pick up the next book on the pile. Read until you lose focus, and then put that book down, read the next book, and then keep repeating that until you get all through all 7, and then go back to the first book. And then he said after could just keep repeating that for hours, but every once in a while, do some push-ups to jog the brain and like make the brain go faster. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. I already bought 2 of the books, so I'm just gonna buy Tufti, the Priestess, which is by Vadim Zeland. That's not on the list. And then I'm also gonna buy, what's that book called? I think it's called Ascent of Humanity or something like that. Yeah, there's some good books on there that I already know that I'm going to be reading. All right, so I want to talk to you about this other thing. So one of the principles of transurfing is to stay awake. Stay awake, stay aware. And my friend is very into health. He knows a lot about health and chemicals and stuff like that. And so he said serotonin decreases your consciousness. So basically, if you have high serotonin, then you're not going to be very conscious or not aware. So if you have high serotonin, you're not going to be very good at applying the transurfing principle. And so with that said, there are so many things in our environment that is causing our serotonin to increase. Like, I don't know any of them. You're going to have to look them up. But I know one of them is like EMFs, which is like Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But there's a bunch of stuff. And then there's also stuff that you can do to decrease your serotonin. And so that's one thing that I'm trying to do. I'm trying to decrease my serotonin because my thought process is if serotonin is directly linked to how good I am at being a transurfer, and how conscious and aware I am. And by the way, the amount of conscious awareness you have is directly correlated to how much you're going to be able to take control of your own destiny. So if you have high conscious awareness, then you're going to be way more effective at taking charge of your own destiny. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out how I can lower my serotonin levels. And my friend said that that's what psychedelics does. It basically makes you have like no serotonin or something like that. Or it increases your DMT. But I don't know any of this stuff. I'm just repeating like things that I think I heard from my friend. And so that psychedelics basically makes you awake, like very conscious and very present, very much so awake. So that's why people get a lot of, what's the word, like premonitions, or a lot of information. They learn a lot from taking psychedelics because their mind is basically shut off, and it basically allows them to unify the heart and mind, and that allows the heart to go into the information field and gather a bunch of information and insights. So that's what psychedelics does. But serotonin, I'm trying to just decrease. And one of the things that I think lowers serotonin is taking magnesium. And my friend has been talking about taking magnesium for improving our sleep as well. So he takes 200 milligrams in the morning and 200 at night. So he takes 400 a day. And it's just a magnesium pill. And so that's what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to start taking magnesium in the morning and night. But I got to find an actual supplement that doesn't have any like bad stuff in it, because my mom bought some magnesium supplements at Costco yesterday, and I was looking at the ingredients list, and it's got like rapeseed lecithin. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound good. And then it's also got colors added. So I'm not trying to have like food coloring in my... I'm not trying to have like red number 40 in my supplements. So that my mom's going to have to return that. And I'm going to try and find another one. Now, last night I said that I was going to look up my basically the people in my niche podcasting. And I was going to look up, see how long their upload schedules were, see how many days cushion they have. But I forgot. So I didn't do that. But I talked to my mom, and she said, like, 5 days seems perfect, maybe even more. But I think I'll just keep with 5 days, unless I get an email from you guys. Unless I get enough emails from people. james@snmomentum.com, by the way, is my email. And I'm going to be looking at the analytics. By the time this video will be up, I will definitely have checked. I'll definitely have checked the analytics, so I'll be able to see when, like, how many people are listening to this podcast. and I said that I was going to I was going to offer a coaching service. And I definitely, so far, I'm still doing that. So email me at james@ascendmomentum if you're interested in that. I haven't set anything up yet, but if you guys email me and with enough interest, I will definitely set something up. But that's pretty much where I'm at with my business right now. This weekend, I'm going to my grandparents' house in Ohio to hang out with the extended family, and because we're doing birthdays, so we're going to celebrate a couple of people in my family's birthday and mine as well. And there's a few things that I actually asked for on my birthday list. One is more beeswax candles for my nighttime nighttime journaling in my room. Another thing is a wool doormat for outside of my room, because I like to rub off my feet before I go in my room, so there's no like dirt gets brought into my room. So I asked for that. And then I also asked for a cotton pillow, because currently I sleep on a buckwheat pillow, which is good. Silk pillowcase, that's good. That's not bad for you. But I hug, like in my arms, a pillow that's just like a throw pillow, but it's made of polyester. It's made of plastic. And I'm not into that. I don't want that. That's bad for you. So I asked for a new pillow that's like made of duck down feathers or something like that, like inside of it, and then it's got like cotton. I don't know. It should be. I looked at it, and it should be fine. It's like $80 though, so I don't know if I'll get it, because the main thing that I'm asking for is a cotton blanket, 100% cotton blanket. And that is like the biggest thing that I am excited for. It's like $130 or something like that. I just asked for a twin cotton blanket. I wanted to get it white so it wasn't dyed, but my grandma said that it's not available. It was like out of stock. So I think I'm going to get like tan. It's going to be dyed tan or something. I don't really mind, because right now I'm sleeping all night with a blanket that's made of plastic. So once I fix those, then my sleep will be fully optimal. Like not necessarily my sleep, but my, like the things that I touch while I'm sleeping. Because right now my bed is optimal. It's a tatami mat, so it's made of grass. And my pillow that I use for my head has a silk pillowcase, and it's a buckwheat pillow. The actual pillow part is made of cotton, and then inside of it is buckwheat. So that's 100% safe as well. And then my blanket and then the pillow that I hug are not bad, or are both bad. So that's essentially what is going to happen this weekend. I'm going to fix that. But I was just thinking that I'm really looking forward to the future, because like I'm sorry to go back to this, but I'm excited because I can literally do whatever I want. Like today was another turning point on my belief system and my worldview. And I know, like, just from learning a lot, I know that my mind is like the only thing holding me back. So if I can just believe in that stuff with my mind, then I'll be able to achieve whatever I want. And today was a big turning point, and I was able to learn a lot. And I didn't even read the whole document. I probably read like 4 paragraphs total over like 1 or 2 pages. And there was like 40 pages. I like skimmed through a little bit, but other than that, I didn't really read it. And so I printed it out, and I'm going to read the whole thing. And I'm just really excited. But there's also another thing. I printed 2 copies. So like one copy is like 40 pages long, and so I printed 2, so like 80 pages. And it was at my school printer in the makerspace, which is like, it's like makerspace is where they have, it's like right under the library. They have like a 3D printer there. It's like all the creative area. And so I printed 2 copies of the CIA document, but I must have gotten there before it finished printing, because half of the second document was not in my collection when I like checked at home. Like I checked at home to divide them, because I printed 2, one for me and one for my friend. And so I went to divide them, and I only had half of the second one. So the other half might be in that printer still, and I just left. So the next person that goes to get their stuff is also going to grab a declassified document from the CIA. They're going to be so confused. And it's going to be talking about like time travel and stuff like that. So that's something that happened. I don't know like I don't know if they're going to be able to track to see who printed it. It doesn't really matter. Nothing will affect me. Nothing. Like nobody except for me can hold me back from achieving my goals. Like temporarily problems may arise, but as long as I follow the principles of transurfing, I'm through. Like I'm going to do it. Okay, this is another thing I want to talk about. So ever since I watched a Hamza video on fertility and basically like your testosterone levels and increasing your testosterone levels, I stopped going in the steam room, because I used to go in the steam room like every single day after my workout at the gym. And so after I saw that heat is not good for your balls because they overheat and then they stop producing testosterone and stop producing sperm. And so that leads to lots of issues. So I stopped going into the steam room until the other day when it was like 100 degrees out. And I like sat out on the sun deck, which is basically like the roof of my gym, and we can just tan. So I sat out there for like 20 minutes tanning. And then I went inside and I was like, oh, might as well hit the sauna. And so I not the sauna, the steam room. Because we don't have a sauna at my gym, just a steam room. And so I hit the steam room, and in that, I was just in there. And so I hit that steam room for the first time in a while. And what that does is it like flushes out the estrogen, the estrogenics from your body, because it like flushes out through your sweat. And then I just didn't go in there again. And then today my friend was asking me if I wanted to go in there again tomorrow to flush out all the estrogen. So that's good. Also, a side note, my friend... Okay, well, yeah, tomorrow we're both going to go in the steam room and flush out all that estrogen. But side note, a couple weeks ago, my friend got a blood test to check out his testosterone levels, and he bought the advanced one. It was like the $200 blood test option from like Check Me or Test Me or something like that. Like the complete men's health package. And so he got that, and then he actually got the results like 2 days ago or yesterday. I don't remember when. And he actually learned a lot about like what's going on in his body. So it inspired me, because I already wanted to get a testosterone test to check how much testosterone I have. But since he learned a lot from the other information, I actually went in and I talked to my mom and I asked for it for my birthday. So I'm going to be getting a full advanced testosterone test for my birthday. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that because honestly, I just want to know how much testosterone I have. And I talked about this yesterday, and I'll probably get I'm not going to be able to take the test until I'm 18 because they require you to be 18. So I will probably take the test when I'm 18, and then it probably won't be until around October or late September once I get the results. But I'll be able to get my results then, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right, there's another thing I want to talk about. Funnel hack. Okay, this is one thing I learned from Russell Brunson. Whenever you are marketing, so whenever you're telling stories, sharing videos with your customers, you're destroying their limiting beliefs and building up the perceived value of the thing you're selling. So let me explain. Whenever you, all right, I'm going to explain with the ClickFunnels example. I bought Funnel Hacking Live. My friend bought tickets to Funnel Hacking Live. So I went through and I'm watching all of the promotional videos and I'm watching all the videos and I'm reading all of the marketing stuff that he's sending out for Funnel Hacking Live because he's just destroying limiting beliefs and building the perceived value of it. And when you do that, you have way if you can do that for your customer, destroy their limiting beliefs and build up the perceived value, then the customer will have way more success because one, they'll know that it's possible that they can change and they can they'll actually be able to achieve the success with your product. And two, it builds the value, so they're actually going to pay more attention to the product and they're going to give it a lot more attention and a lot more care. So that's why I'm looking through all of the Funnel Hacking Live stuff because this is a big event and I know that it'll change my life, but I just want to make sure that I get all the information in so I can destroy all my limiting beliefs. But let me tell you a story of back in the day when I used to watch YouTube. I would watch Hamza, and in the beginning of his videos, he would always have like a Jeffrey and Adonis storyline. It's basically like the Jeffrey was the average mediocre guy, and then Adonis was like the beast, the man, like the man that everyone aspires to be, like the greatest man ever. And now looking back on it, I actually when I was still watching YouTube, but I was also learning about marketing, I realized that he was telling those stories to build up the perceived value and to destroy limiting beliefs. And so when I was watching YouTube and I was also learning about marketing, I was starting to value my time a lot more. So I wanted to skip that storyline. But then I caught myself and I was thinking, no, this is important as well because he's doing this to build up the perceived value of the information he's giving as well as destroy my limiting beliefs. So it's beneficial to listen to the stories and hear all of this stuff because it's just helping you. It's just destroying your limiting beliefs, like changing your mindset. And then it's also building the perceived value so you actually take more care and attention into the product. Let me get some water. So today is August 31st. I've got a couple weeks until my birthday. When I first started looking into entrepreneurship, the reason why I started was because I was into self-improvement for maybe a year before, like a little bit less than a year before. So I've improved myself so much, and I kind of started to plateau, or I kind of started to get to the point in my health where I couldn't really improve my health much more unless I had money to replace, like get organic food, get just all this stuff costs a lot more money. And so I needed more money. And so I was slowly starting to think, oh, how am I going to get more money? And then entrepreneurship, like starting a business, slowly started to creep into my mind. But I didn't really want to do it. And then eventually I watched a Hamza video, and he said, entrepreneurship is the next stage of your life. If you're at this point, which he was describing my point, he said, entrepreneurship is the next stage of your life. I started focusing on entrepreneurship, and I became more of a man. I'm more of a man. Entrepreneurship grows you into a better man, into a more masculine man. Like, you grow so much more masculine through entrepreneurship because you're facing your fears and you're actually doing what men do, building things. And then there's a lot more other reasons, but that was like the biggest turning point in why I actually decided to go into business, because he said that that's like the biggest, like it allows you to become more masculine. That alone like propelled me forward, and I started to actually move forward into starting a business. Like, I didn't want to believe it at the time, but that thought about it turns you more, it like allows you to be more masculine. That thought like kept in my mind for like the coming days. And then after a couple days, like more and more things started clicking, and I started learning more and more and seeing more and more about business. And I was like, okay, I'm starting a business. And then over like the next weeks and days, I started like looking more into it, figuring out my business. And then after like a couple months, it's been like 2 to 4, I don't even know how long, 2 to 4 months. Now I'm just like, now I'm where I'm at right now. 45 episodes into my podcast. Now, I think the podcast is actually like going to be the biggest mover, the biggest thing that will help me move forward towards my goals, because I think that the podcast will be, honestly, the podcast is just it's really going to be the number one thing. Like, there's a rule. It's called the 80-20 rule, and it's 80% of your rewards or your results come from 20% of the actions. Now, like 10% of my day is spent podcasting, and this is probably going to give me like 90% of my rewards, because there's so many benefits to being a podcaster. One, you're positioned as an expert. So people perceive me as an expert now that I'm a podcaster. So you have more credibility. 2, that expert position allows you to, 2, you have more traffic. So people are listening to you. And so since you're positioned as an expert, you can help them out through coaching. And I wasn't actually, I started my podcast and I had no idea what I was going to do. Originally, I was thinking of promoting my free lead magnet, which is basically like a free ebook, like 14-page ebook that I wrote on how to start self-improvement. And I was originally going to do that and get emails and start building my email list. But then I decided to just not do that. I don't know why I decided that. But then over time, I kind of just started keep doing podcasting. And then eventually I realized, oh, I'm going to start a coaching thing, because I saw it on an article, coaching, and it kind of like talked to me. It kind of spoke to me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do coaching. So that's where I'm at right now. I kind of just started the podcast. Original intentions were different, and now my intentions are absolutely different. And my intentions in like another 45 episodes, so on episode 90, are definitely probably going to be different. Like, you don't have to know the path forward. And honestly, you shouldn't know the path forward. Like, your mind cannot know the path forward, because if you try and come up with the path forward, your mind is analyzing all the possible scenarios of defeat. And that is attuning your energy to lifelines of defeat. So do not try and come up with the path forward. Just keep moving forward like what I did. And honestly, I didn't even do this. I kind of did it. Like, I'm not following the principles of Transurfing perfectly, but every single day I'm following them better and better and better. So that's all that really matters. Like, you're not going to be able to follow all the principles instantly, perfectly. But over time, you'll get better and better. That's basically what I'm doing now. To wrap things up, don't forget to download your favorite episodes and subscribe to the Ascend Momentum Show. But before you guys leave, make sure to remember the Eagles.